Welcome back to the GM Realm audience as Arrowhead Studios continues loading up the guns of Helldivers 2 with new content, including a new powerhouse rifle with jet-propelled shells just like the bolter from Warhammer 40k that explode on impact. It's called the R-36 Eruptor, and it makes clearing out automaton fabricators and Terminid bog holes a breeze. You need to fork over some cash or grind for super credits to unlock it, but once you do, it's well worth the investment. It's so strong it feels like it should be locked behind its own stratagem. Added on April 11th as part of the Democratic Detonation Premium War Bond, the Eruptor is a bolt-action gun with a tactical scope that's great for wreaking havoc on enemy bases and patrols from a distance. While slow to fire and slow to aim, it packs a huge punch and is incredibly satisfying to use. And more importantly, it will even occasionally let you one-shot fabricators and bug holes. And I have found it as a great AoE damager for patrol groups, blowing up massive groups of bugs with such satisfaction. It just makes me feel like a powerhouse to be reckoned with. Its armor pummeling power makes it especially strong a tool against automatons, which players spent most of the last week fighting after a surprise ambush unleashed a new wave of AT-AT style factory striders, along with the northern part of the Galactic War on the map. But the Eruptor is no slouch against the bugs either, Helldivers. And if any Helldivers are like me, always coming up one stratagem or a few grenades short of clearing out those last couple of bug holes on the Terminid outposts, the Eruptor is a lifesaver. No more dying before blowing up the last hole and then getting reinforced on the opposite side of the map by your fellow Helldivers. The long range means that if you can get the right angle, you don't even have to be too close to the danger either. To unlock the Eruptor, you'll need to first splurge on the Democratic Detonation War Bond, which costs 1,000 super credits. Hopefully you've been saving up all the ones you find on the missions or have unlocked from previous war bonds. Once acquired, you just need 120 medals to nab it. If it's been a minute since you've logged back into Helldivers 2, you probably have that many just waiting for you from all of the community's other recently completed major orders. Now, is the Eruptor the best gun in the game now? Probably not. The other weapons in the arsenal each have a specific mission or type of encounter that they're better suited to. And pound for pound, the Breaker remains the most versatile and all-round great weapon. The Sickle is also still second to none when it comes to mowing down mobs of swarming enemies. If there's only one gun you buy a premium war bond for though, it should definitely be the Eruptor. As I've come across, the Eruptor is a fun gun to use all around. And my final thoughts on the Eruptor is, if you love taking out huge mobs and feeling like a powerhouse, definitely get the Eruptor. It is one of the S tier weapons in Helldivers 2 at this very moment before any more war bonds come out. I definitely recommend completing as many of these weapons as you can with the medals that you achieve and trying out all the weapons to see what best suits you for your playstyle. And that is the best thing about Helldivers 2. You can come across many different weapons for your suited playstyle. If you like to use the jetpack and just fly around the map as a scout, you can do that. If you want to feel like a heavy powerhouse, use the Eruptor. I really do think that Helldivers 2 has a variety of weapons to use as well as stratagems to use to fit a very large amount of different playstyles that you want. And that's what it boils down to. How you play Helldivers 2 depends on the stratagems and the weapons that you use throughout the game, whether it's your primary or secondaries, as well as stratagems or special gear that you call in. It can be played in any way you want, and by looking at each individual Helldivers in your party, you can equip yourself with the weapons you choose that will suit your squad, or just choose what you like to use. There is no good or bad weapons that you have to use specifically. The metas and all that, it just depends on how you want to play. Now, the R-36 Eruptor comes with a damage of 380. The weapon traits is medium armor penetrating and explosive, which is very, very good. The fire rate is 25 RPM and the recoil 75. Now, the ammo capacity of the Eruptor is 5 with the spare magazines of 12. So it is a slow moving weapon with a low amount of ammo capacity, but the actual ammo per round can take out large groups of enemies, which is the plus side to the weapon. So what you want to equip with, and this is my personal opinion, is something that is a fast rate of fire that is going to be either the Stalwart or your preferred fast-paced machine gun. Now, the Stalwart is a support weapon specializing in disposing of large amounts of unarmored targets. Being a side grade to the MG43 machine gun, it sacrifices individual bullet damage and medium armor penetration for a much higher rate of fire, and a larger pool of ammo. And the ability to reload on the move, that is one of the better things about the Stalwart. It's fast, very fast. So the role of the Stalwart is designed to clear lightly armored enemy troops quickly and efficiently. Unlike other weapons such as the arc tower, flamethrower, and grenade launcher, the Stalwart has a much lower chance of friendly fire, making it perfect in a chaotic group fights, where your fellow Helldivers are sort of spread around you amongst the chaos. If you accidentally hit one, it won't drop them dead instantly. And while it lacks the penetration power of other support weapons, it's also a lot more flexible than most. That's what I love about the Stalwart. Compared to the other machine guns, it's reasonably accurate even when firing while on the move, and reloads fairly quickly without having to stand still, and has by far the most total ammo per magazine, which is where you sort of balance it out with the Eruptor, if you see what I'm saying. So all of these make it a very handy tool to mow down Terminid swarms, perhaps as a backup for a more precision-based primary weapon, aka the Eruptor. So on the other hand, these qualities are less desirable against automatons. Just like I was saying previously, the Stalwart is not great against automatons, who field fewer units and more armor, though it can still function somewhat effectively as a backup against melee troopers and even berserkers closing in on other players for the latter. It's best used to shoot off their arms first, as we all know. The automatons are much more heavily armored amongst all of the enemies we're facing right now. I wouldn't recommend using the Stalwart with the Eruptor. I recommend swapping it out and testing it with different weapons, maybe a heavy machine gun you can use, or as you know, I think most of us know the Quasar is very good at taking down the ships as well as the heavier automatons throughout. You know, in its long range, the Quasar is a very long range weapon. The Eruptor with the Quasar goes really well with maybe a shield generator. I definitely recommend that. And that's all I really got to say. You just use whatever you want. Just test it with different things. I'm not going to be here telling you I'm an expert on telling you which stratagems to use for your Helldiver. I'm just here to talk about the Eruptor, how I've had it, I've used it. It's a fantastic weapon, and I've tested and used different machine guns and heavier weapons with it. I definitely find during the Terminids, if you like playing against Terminids, the Eruptor and the Stalwart, give it a shot if you haven't tried it out already. Test different weapons out. It's okay to test different weapons out and see what you feel like is a better suit to yourself and any situation. And if you just love using a certain weapon with the Eruptor, or you prefer using shotguns, or you prefer using a machine gun or concussion, or whatever you feel like using, the Helldivers 2 does have it. And I definitely feel like the Eruptor is a fun weapon to use, and it's definitely one of the top weapons to use. So test it out, see which ones you like, and have fun with it. That's what this game's all about. So don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to my channel. If this helped out, drop a comment and what you recommend to use with the Eruptor. It's definitely one of my favorite weapons right now in Helldivers 2. Peace.